Hey YouTube, we've got another Dropzone Commander battle report for you today. This one will be pitting the Scourge and the United Colonies of Mankind against one another at 1,000 points. We are playing the standard scenario. We're playing at the clash size. So there are 3 objectives across the center of the table. One in this medium building, one in the central building, and one in this medium building. Then you can see another one here. And on the opposite side, there's one in the long building there. Our goal is to get more objectives off the table than the opponent. We will be back in just a moment to run you down the army lists. First up, we have the United Colonies of Man, 1,000 points. Should also note we are playing without commanders, which is strictly speaking not legal at 1,000 points, but we don't care about that. So, Josh is going to walk you down his half first.
Okay, so for my armored formation, I've got 3 sabers in a condor with missile pods and 3 rapier anti-air tanks in a condor. Then for my 1st Legionnaire Corps, I've got 6 Legionnaires in 2 bears, and they're sharing a condor. Then I have a small Legionnaire Corps with just 2 stands of Legionnaires in a Raven A. I have 1 Archangel for my air group, and for my heavy ordnance, I have 2 Gladius heavy battle tanks, and the Expeditionary group, I have 4 Wolverine A's and 2 stands of Praetorians in a Raven A.
Alright, so that's the United Colonies of Mankind. Next up we have the Insidious Scourge making their appearance. For our main armored battle group, we have 3 Hunter main grav tanks in a Marauder medium dropship and 3 Reaper AA grav tanks in a Marauder. For our first infantry, or for our heavy group, our occupation, no that's not it, invasion host. We have 2 Slayer heavy tanks. One of them is carrying a stand of Razor Worms, and they're mounted in a Marauder. For our first infantry group, we have 2 stands of Warriors. They are mounted in an Intruder Alpha. Then we have, which there's actually beta on the table, need to switch that out. We also have 3 Ravagers and a Harbinger assault dropship for them to ride in. Then for our final group, we have 3 stands of Warriors, twice, in Invader APCs, and they're riding in another Marauder. So that is armies. There's the table again, and we will be back after first activation. The Scourge have 1 initiative for turn 1. We allowed the UCM to go first. Their flyer did not come in. The Condor here is carrying their main infantry up the center. I dropped my main infantry here, and their invaders and the infantry went ahead and got out and climbed into this building. The small detachment of UCM Legionnaires have come on down here, and the Reapers responded here, coming up in the center. Forgot to place the Hunters in the last one. They moved up here and dropped out behind this building near the center. For the next activation, the Gladius rolled on back there in the corner, and he too on this building knocked 6 points out and killed 1 warrior. The Scourge responded by moving the Marauder on this flank and moving the Hunters up to this position. So that is just wrapping it down, but we got a couple more activations to go. Alright, Scourge moved their light infantry up to this building, dropped the Ravagers out in the street here from their Harbinger. The UCM before that moved their armor on here and dropped out. And then for their final activation, since their Archangel has not come on yet, they moved their Wolverines on behind this building, and the Raven A that is carrying the Praetorians moved to the center of the table here. So there's your sweeping view of what's going on right now. Table has filled up all of a sudden. We will be back after the first activations of turn 2. Scourge have 1 activation to begin turn 2. We moved our armored formation up here. The Hunters knocked 10 damage points out of this building and killed 4 guys. The Reapers fired here and destroyed the Condor. They wrecked 1 of the bears, and 2 of the 3 bases in that bear were destroyed. The UCM answered with their Gladius, firing down at this building again. 4 more damage points, but no damage results on the infantry. Alright, Scourge activated these infantry, but failed to find theirs on a 5+ with both squads. In response, the UCM activated here, scrambling to get out before the Slayers went, and found their objective and skedaddled off the table. Scourge moved their infantry into this building, and their heavy walkers up to the center here through their Harbinger again. The infantry here took a pasting, had a lot of damage come through there. So they're down to 1 point in their building. That came from the rapiers and the sabers firing their shots down here. So that is that activation complete. Alright, the Scourge moved their Slayers up with some hopscotch through their dropship again, put them up here behind the main body of armor. The UCM responded, they moved their Bear from the busted transport into the central building. The lone base fired his missile and destroyed one of the Reapers. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, the Wolverines. They flew over here, fired on this dropship, but did not accomplish any damage. And the Praetorians flew here in their Alpha and took this building. So that is the end of turn 2. We'll be back when the dice start rolling for turn 3. Alright, first activation of turn 3 went to the UCM. They destroyed this building. So Scourge down to 2 bases of infantry. Not looking good for the Squeedies at that point. We responded by moving standard armor. We destroyed 2 of his sabers with the hunters as they came around the corner. Right there. And then the Reapers moved around and knocked this Condor down. Dropships, this one fired at the Saber to no effect, and this one fired his nozzle and destroyed one of the Wolverines. The Praetorians started to turn off, searching for their objective, but were unable to find it. The Wolverines scooted up to get reaction fire on this guy when he pops out from behind the building. In response, the Slayers went. This guy slid over and destroyed another one with his plasma hose. The Slayers slid around the building and destroyed that barrier to try to trap those infantry on the table a little more efficiently. Alrighty, the UCM fired their lone saber and destroyed one of the 2 Reapers remaining here. The 3 Rapiers swung around and fired all of their cannons at the survivor, but were unable to finish it off. In response, the Scourge picked up the 2 invaders and moved this transport 12 inches towards the center of the table. Alright, to round out the turn, the UCM has decided to skip on the gun run from the Archangel. Let's see, what else did the UCM have to do? Big infantry searched for their objective here in the center, but were unable to locate it. Fired another rocket at the Hunter Reaper there, but thankfully finally missed, so he gets to live for at least a few more seconds. Scourge moved out to the flank with these guys, the Ravagers, and knocked out the final 2 Wolverines, and the Warriors were unable to find their objectives. So that is the end of turn 3? Turn 3. So turn 3 is in the books, turn 4 coming up. Scourge won initiative. We moved our hunters to this end in an attempt to get rid of some of the reaction fire. Rolled pretty poorly, killed one of the rapiers here in the street. Tried to move our dropship over it to fire on this landed craft, and he got shot down by Overwatch, or not Overwatch, reaction fire. But it happened. Moved the Reaper up. It was, of course, out of range. They always are. That's where we're at right now. Be back with the next activation in just a moment. The Scourge activated their Slayers. Cannot connect. This UCM armor is tough. Fired our shots at the Rapiers. Destroyed one of them with the 2 Slayers. The other one slid away and moved back this way. And their Condor moved up to here. Be back with the next activation in just a moment. Alright, Scourge activated their empty Marauder that's carrying the 2 empty invaders. Fired a drill cannon on this thing and missed. The infantry in the center building searched for an objective but were unsuccessful, and the dudes in the street fired a rocket at the Slayers but were unable to land a blow. For final activation, the Scourge infantry searched this building again, needing a 4+ this turn. Were unsuccessful. The Praetorians, however, found theirs and scooted out in this direction 12 inches. So that is the end of turn 4. We will be back after turn 5 begins. The Gladius, UCM 1 activation. The Gladius moved and fired and destroyed the Reaper here. The Hunters, in response, moved out into the street here, fired on this building along with their dropship, did 8 damage points and killed 1 base of the guys inside. The Scourge activated special force, or the UCM rather, activated special forces and moved down the flank here since they had knocked that last Rapier out. Reaper, I'll get it right in a minute, The Scourge in response activated their Slayers here and knocked out a bunch of points here, scored a ridiculous number of falling masonries, and killed everybody inside the building. So be back after the next activation. The UCM fired with their last saber, punched out another tank here, knocking them down to 2 guys. In response, the Scourge moved their AA walkers around here, found this objective, and did a direct transfer across the rooftops here by their dropship and deployed into this building with their objective. Rounding out the turn, the Archangel made a pass along their board edge against that dropship, but was unable to do anything. So that is the end of turn 5. Going into 6, UCM has won the game. There's nothing else that I can do to fight against that at this point. But go ahead and walk through the motions of the last turn here and get you a final conclusion. Alright, so that one will end in a 4-1 UCM victory. The Warriors here were unable to find this objective, needing a 6. They did not locate it. A whole lot of nothing in the center here. Hunters and these guys trading fire to no effect. The Slayers did, however, scoot over here and fire and managed to destroy both of the Gladius. So, lots of casualties. Couldn't get the dice I needed, though, when I needed them. The Archangel also did make a pass here, destroy another Marauder, but was cut down as it crossed this street by reaction fire from these guys. So, 4-1 UCM. As always, we will have after-action reviews and army lists on the blog. Like and subscribe if you want us to keep making them, and we will see you all next time.